Hi there, guitar players. I'm going to give you some tips about how to play Kelsea Ballerini's hit, Peter Pan. And I'm going to give you a couple of different ways to do the left hand and a couple different ways to do the right hand. So this song contains the standard chords. I'm going to use numbers. If that's brand new for you, go learn about the Nashville number system because it's wonderful. We're going to need a 1, 4, 5, 6 minor, and 2 minor chords. Now, I'm going to show you two different ways to play that. The record is in D flat, and so one way you can do it, and maybe the easiest, most familiar way, is to put your capo on the 6th fret and play it in G position. So those numbers work out to be in G position, a G chord, a C chord, a D chord, and an E minor chord. And those four, I got one more for you, but those four can all be played without moving your ring finger, and I highly recommend that you check that out because it sounds good and it keeps your hand anchored to the guitar, the neck of the guitar. The 5th chord that you're going to need is a 2 minor chord, and in the key, in G position, that's an A minor chord. You're going to have to pick up all of your fingers. It's the only chord in the song where you're going to do that, but you're going to pick them all up and go to an A minor. And there's kind of a shortcut way of playing an A minor that only uses 2 fingers instead of 3, and it looks like this. So your G, your C, your D, your E minor, and then when the time comes around, you'll need an A minor. One more little trick about the A minor is that the next chord that follows the A minor is a C, and probably the easiest way to get into your C chord from A minor is like this. But in the rest of the song, I'm doing my C like this. So you know that you are really becoming a fancy guitar player when you have more than one fingering for a given chord, okay? So that's how we do it in G position. Let's talk about your rhythm hand for a second. Probably the simplest groove that's going to work if you want to play along with a record is what is affectionately referred to as a hick hop groove. And it looks like this. So the idea is that you're going to play your bass note twice. That's kind of sets the tone for this groove. And if you don't play your bass note twice, it's not going to come out right. So you play it twice, and then you do a big strum, okay? And the strum is really kind of the biggest accent in the bar, in the whole groove. So it's... And on your chart, you're going to play 2 of those hick hop grooves to make 1 bar. So for example, the first bar of the chorus is a split bar. That means you have 2 chords in the bar. You play E minor and C. That's all 1 bar. 6 minor and 4. So in terms of this hick hop groove, it'll look like this. Bass, bass, strum, bass, bass, strum. All right? Then you go to your G chord and you do that twice to make the G bar, okay? So that points you in the right direction in terms of playing it in G position with the basic hick hop groove. Now I'm going to show you some options in case you're ready to kind of take it to the next level, both in the left hand and the right hand. So another way you can sound like you're in the key of D flat is to put your capo on the 1st fret and play in C position, all right? I didn't say it's better, it's just an option, okay? So you can decide for yourself if you want to play in G on the 6th fret or in C on the 1st fret. Let me show you some fingerings that I like to use when I'm playing in C position that are going to work really well in this song. I am going to keep my pinky down as much as I can. So here's my C chord, and by the way, when you're playing in the key of C, or in C position, and C is your 1 chord, you don't want to use this guy because he's not really all the way resolved. So that doesn't feel right for a 1 chord. 1 chord we want to be fully resolved, and this is the way that we get that sound. You can put your pinky on the high string, and that will be a note that you can leave in your chord for a whole bunch of these chords. All right, so here's your 1 chord, your C chord. In C position, your 4 is F. Now you may know that an F chord is often played as a bar chord, and if you can do that, rock on, good for you. If not, don't be put off because there's a shortcut, and it looks like this. I'm going to leave my pinky and my index, and these two guys are going to go hop right there, okay? And that's kind of a variation of an F chord. It's actually called F add 9, but don't worry about that add 9 thing. It works as an F chord here. Your bass note in this case is on the 4th string. So, and the 5 chord is G. So watch what we do. We leave the pinky down. And in fact, I'm going to leave my index finger down too. Watch this. I'm going to take my ring finger and move it to the 6th string, and I'm going to let him mute my 5th string. Okay, so he doesn't have a job. He's just taking a break for right now. And what that gives you is a G sus chord, and I think that's going to sound really good in this context. So far, I haven't moved my pinky, and I haven't moved my index finger either. And I'm going to stick with that plan because watch this. Coming from a C chord, I'm now going to go to my 6th minor chord, which is an A minor. It's a variation of A minor. It's going to sound really good. All I have to do is pick up my ring finger. Now, if you've never asked your ring finger to do something all by itself, it's going to be a little mind-blowing because usually your ring finger likes to do what the other fingers are doing. But the smart thing in this situation, when you're on C and you're going to A minor, is just pick that finger up. All right, so the last chord we want to talk about is your 2 minor in C position is a D minor. So coming from a C chord, you're going to get rid of your ring. You're going to take these 2 fingers, index and middle, and you're going to just hop them this way. We need 1 more finger. You can use your ring on the 2nd string or your pinky on the 2nd string. I like to use my pinky. I don't know why, I just do. All right, so that is the chord where you are going to pick up your pinky and you're going to pick up your index finger, okay? I'm sorry about that. I never promised you a rose garden. I never guaranteed that you would be able to leave those fingers down forever and ever. So there comes a time when we got to pick them up. Let's talk about the right hand. I'm also going to show you that you can play this song with what's called a 16th note groove. And don't worry about the technicality of that. Just when you hear 16th notes, understand that there's going to be 16 of them per bar. I'm not asking you to count them. I'm just telling you that because it's going to be fairly busy. To get 16 little thingies going on, we're going to have to do them fairly fast. So we move our hand in a constant pulse to get the 16th note groove. So I'm just going to sit on my C chord for a second and play my 16th note groove. That was 1 bar. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Here's your chorus coming up here. I'm not sure I played the chords in exactly the right sequence for the chorus, but that's why you have a chart. So anyway, that shows you kind of what I'm up to over here. If you're a new guitar player, that's probably going to be a little bit overwhelming, and I suggest you do the first groove I showed you, the hick hop. But if you're ready to try something else, I suggest you try the 16th note groove. One little tip I have for how to kind of incorporate the feel of all that movement is to take your left hand and mute the strings, so now we don't have to worry about chords, and practice the move, practice your groove without having to worry about what your left hand is doing. All right, and a good thing to do is put the recording on and play along because it just kind of helps you find your groove and get a realistic sense of the tempo. And that, okay? All right, now go practice that and have a ball.